Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be biking to and then hiking the Billy Goat Trail A up in Maryland. It's about 18 miles north and west of Washington D.C. and it's definitely not for the faint of heart because there are some straight up friction climbs, really steep descents. It gets really rocky, really broken ground, and it's all right next to the Potomac River. But it's only about 5 miles long, so it's a pretty quick hike, but it's definitely awesome. It's definitely worth it if you can make it out there. So let's go over the gear I'm going to use. So I got a bag with about 2 liters of water, lunch, very important, map, GPS watch, a couple bars, sunglasses, hand sanitizer, um, toilet paper because, well, you never know. Multi-tool, cell phone, spare battery. I've got running shorts, and then in case it gets colder, I've got a shell, a pair of pants, a light jacket, and some gloves. And here we go. These are the shoes I'm going to be wearing. And some of you might be thinking I'm freaking insane because these are just Nike Frees. And most people that hike like to do it in boots or at least in trail shoes, something with a little bit more support. But not me, because honestly, I'm much more of a trail runner. So I like to hop around, and yeah, I just like to shimmy up as quickly as possible up the uphills. And I find that these really give me the most flexibility, so I can really feel the rocks beneath me. And a lot of people are really uncomfortable with that because you could break an ankle pretty easily, or at least sprain one. But I love it, and if you just tie it tight enough, I found that generally with enough experience, you can go up some pretty hairy stuff and be okay. But hoping that I don't break anything today and I didn't just jinx myself. There we go. And on that note, let's get going. Just arrived at the Billy Goat Section A trailhead. There are no dogs and no bikes allowed, so keep that in mind if you want to come up here. In order to get here, I had to bike about 19 miles up the C&O Trail, and that's an entirely different video, but you're welcome to go check that out. So before I start, like I said, I like to do trail runs and hikes in pretty minimalist running shoes, which a lot of people think is insane, but that's just the way I like to do it. And before I get started, I have to tie them really, really tightly so that there's no slippage of the sole underneath. And you might be asking yourself, how tight should I tie this in case you want to try it out? The answer is tie it to the point where they're uncomfortable and then tie it even tighter because you do not want any slippage. To stay on the trail, basically you just have to follow the blazers or the markings that the Forest Service puts on the rocks and the trees, and it's pretty hard to get lost here. The trail is pretty easy to see, and even if you do, it just follows the Potomac the whole time. So if you make your way back to the river, you'll find your way. Most of the trail is located on an island in the middle of the Potomac. And this is actually a dry stream bed that will usually separate out from the mainland. But the Potomac is low today, so don't have to get my feet wet. We're starting to get into the more broken ground along the trail. Like I said at the beginning, this is definitely not a trail to do if you are not in particularly good shape, or if you've got any sort of like bad knee or ankle problems. There's the first really nice view. Right now there aren't too many people on the trail, but you can expect there to be crowds here whenever there's nice weather like today. It's a very popular trail, and basically 3 seasons out of the year it's pretty full. And you don't want to come out here when there's nasty weather because these rocks get really, really slippery. Cool little wooden bridge they put up here from a fallen log. You'll move through a whole lot of different terrains here on the trail. So over here to the right, you got some grassy marshland. Right now I'm moving through an oak grove. There's a little pine forest. There's some more barren rock faces, but it's definitely not boring. It's important when you're hiking through rocky terrain to always pick a good line or a good avenue of approach through the trail. So here we can go either high or low, but I like it straight up the middle, so that's the way I'm gonna go. So if you don't know which way to go, just take a second, look around, analyze the terrain, and just see what line works best for your comfort level and skill. Got a nice sandy little beach here. Like the sign says, positively no swimming, because the current will take you, and you're off. And you can see some nice little bait fish swimming around in the shallows. Like I said earlier, you're gonna have a lot of people on this trail. It's a two-way trail, so people will be coming from either direction. And just have to be patient and careful. There's no need to be a jerk on the trail. Just let people pass. Just wanted to stop for a second and take in the view. It's gorgeous. Got our first pretty crazy descent. There's always traffic here. Almost there. All right. One more view. Difficult trail ahead.
We didn't, no.
Huh. I guess that's just what we went through. Now that we're done with the super rocky terrain, the trail gets really easy. It's like a nice little day hike. I want to get one more shot of the river before I head back inland. The trail's almost done. It's a great hike, and you can actually see people on the other side of the river climbing the bank. But let's get going. All right, we're coming to the end of the trail. It took me an hour and 3 minutes to complete. That's because I got caught up in traffic quite a few times, and I'd stop and check out the sights, because otherwise, what's the point? But I tend to go pretty fast otherwise. So, I mean, if you just motor through the whole thing and you get lucky with the crowds, you can do it in maybe 45, 50 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed it. Here's my bike. And it's time to hit the road and bike the 19 miles back home. But if you like the the video, please share and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.